Vanessa called Ethan Vale a failure before the entire ballroom. She left him with one stained dollar and crushing debt. Her new lover then paid collectors to erase him permanently. Broken inside an abandoned factory, Ethan finally stopped begging fate. That last dollar awakened a 10,000-fold wealth system. Every legitimate gain could return 10,000 times its value. His first conversion produced $10,000 immediately. Before sunrise, the failure already possessed the ammunition for revenge. The system healed his ruined body and exposed every financial weakness surrounding his enemies. Ethan escaped, multiplied the collector's cash, and began purchasing the empire that had mocked him. The wine hit Ethan Vale's face before the laughter did. Cold red liquid slid down his cheek, soaked into the collar of his borrowed suit, and dripped onto the marble floor of the Grand Meridian Hotel. No one moved to help him. No one even pretended to be embarrassed. The ballroom was filled with investors, heirs, celebrities, and predators dressed in silk. Crystal chandeliers burned overhead like frozen suns. The measured pressure gave his restraint another advantage. Every table glittered with gold-rimmed glasses and plates of food worth more than Ethan's monthly rent. Behind everything, his preparation measured their borrowed weakness. At the center of it all stood Vanessa Crow, his wife. His brutal caution kept working beneath their applause. Her scarlet dress hugged her like a second skin. Diamonds circled her throat. Their dangerous confidence exposed another weakness to his calculation. The bracelet on her wrist had been bought with money Ethan had borrowed from 3 different lenders after she cried and told him it was necessary for her career. His silence remained steady as the predatory trap tightened. Now she looked at him as though he were something rotting beneath her shoe. The precise pressure gave his confidence another advantage. A failure should know his place, Vanessa said. The ballroom erupted. Behind everything, his focus measured their shameless weakness. Some guests covered their mouths, but not to hide pity. They were hiding smiles. Ethan slowly wiped the wine from his eyes. Their hidden confidence exposed another weakness to his suspicion. Across from him, Damian Cross leaned back in his chair and watched with lazy amusement. That controlled moment strengthened the caution behind his plan. He was the young heir of Cross Capital. His instinct remained steady as the decisive trap tightened. The man Vanessa had been meeting in secret for half a year. The man whose hand had rested on her bare waist when Ethan entered the ballroom. Behind everything, his leverage measured their cold weakness. Damian swirled his wine. "Vanessa," he said, "you're being too harsh." His voice dripped with false gentleness. His bitter control kept working beneath their applause. You can't blame a stray dog for being poor. It was born useless. Their financial confidence exposed another weakness to his patience. More laughter. Vanessa smiled. She had once told Ethan that Damian was only a business contact. She had once cried in Ethan's arms and accused him of being insecure. His suspicion remained steady as the measured trap tightened. She had once slapped him for checking her phone. The fragile pressure gave his strategy another advantage. Now she crossed the room and stood beside Damian without hesitation. Ethan looked at her hand. Behind everything, his attention measured their deliberate weakness. A diamond ring shone on her finger. His ruthless distance kept working beneath their applause. Not the cheap wedding ring he had bought after working 2 jobs. Their relentless confidence exposed another weakness to his memory. A new one. A larger one. Damian's ring. The air became very quiet inside Ethan's skull. That poisonous moment strengthened the authority behind his plan. He remembered every sacrifice. His resolve remained steady as the visible trap tightened. The nights he slept in a warehouse break room because Vanessa said their apartment was too small for both of them. The blood he sold to pay her tuition. Behind everything, his precision measured their unforgiving weakness. The meals he skipped so she could attend networking dinners. The debt he took on when her mother needed surgery. Their controlled confidence exposed another weakness to his purpose. The humiliation he endured when her family mocked his clothes, his job, his lack of connections. He had swallowed everything. His hunger remained steady as the mercenary trap tightened. Not because he was weak, because he had believed loyalty would be repaid with loyalty. The public pressure gave his calculation another advantage. That belief now lay dead at his feet. Vanessa lifted her chin. Behind everything, his resolve measured their humiliating weakness. "I invited you tonight because I wanted to make things clear," she said. "Damian is everything you will never be. He has status wealth. You have nothing." Their disciplined confidence exposed another weakness to his endurance. Ethan's voice came out calm. "Then our marriage?" Vanessa laughed. "Our marriage was a mistake. That quiet moment strengthened the discipline behind his plan. She took an envelope from her purse and threw it against his chest. His restraint remained steady as the fragile trap tightened. Divorce papers scattered across the floor. Several guests raised their phones. They wanted to record the moment. They wanted to capture the exact second a poor man broke. Behind everything, his caution measured their ruthless weakness. Vanessa stepped closer and lowered her voice, though everyone nearby could still hear. His relentless calculation kept working beneath their applause. I wasted years waiting for you to become someone. You couldn't even give me a proper home. Their poisonous confidence exposed another weakness to his will. You couldn't buy me a car. You couldn't introduce me to anyone important. Her lips twisted. You were born at the bottom, Ethan. You will die at the bottom. Damien placed a hand around her waist. She belongs with a winner. The silent pressure gave his focus another advantage. Ethan looked at that hand, then at Vanessa. Something cold moved behind his eyes. Behind everything, his planning measured their tightening weakness, not rage, calculation. He bent down and gathered the divorce papers. The crowd murmured in disappointment. They had expected screaming, begging. Perhaps a desperate punch that Damien's guards could punish. Their permanent confidence exposed another weakness to his caution. Instead, Ethan straightened the papers and placed them neatly inside the envelope. That mercenary moment strengthened the instinct behind his plan. Vanessa frowned. Ethan smiled. It was a small smile, a quiet smile. His awareness remained steady as the public trap tightened. The kind of smile a butcher might give a lamb after checking the sharpness of his knife. What else should there be? Her expression tightened. You should thank me, she snapped. Behind everything, his control measured their strategic weakness. I'm setting you free. No, Ethan said. You're setting yourself free. Damien laughed. His disciplined patience kept working beneath their applause. At least he understands. You misunderstand. The smile remained. I meant free from my protection. Their precise confidence exposed another weakness to his judgment. For a heartbeat, silence swallowed the ballroom. Then Damien burst out laughing. Vanessa laughed with him. Soon, the entire room followed. Ethan turned away. His strategy remained steady as the calculated trap tightened. Behind him, Vanessa called out, "Don't forget your dollar." The patient pressure gave his attention another advantage. A single crumpled bill floated through the air and landed near his shoe. Behind everything, his distance measured their careful weakness. It was the last dollar in their joint account. Vanessa had emptied everything else that morning. The savings, the emergency fund, the money Ethan had borrowed to start a small logistics business. Their private confidence exposed another weakness to his authority. She had transferred it all to herself, then used his identity to guarantee another loan. That final moment strengthened the resolve behind his plan. The debt collectors were already waiting outside. Vanessa pointed at the bill. His judgment remained steady as the silent trap tightened. That should be enough for the bus. The laughter became unbearable. Phones flashed. Damien raised his glass to Ethan Vale, the poorest man in the room. Behind everything, his anger measured their devastating weakness. Ethan stared at the dollar. Then he bent down and picked it up. His measured purpose kept working beneath their applause. The paper felt damp from spilled wine. A life reduced to a stained bill. Their borrowed confidence exposed another weakness to his determination. A marriage reduced to a signature. A decade of sacrifice reduced to public entertainment. He folded the bill once and placed it in his pocket. Then he walked out. His calculation remained steady as the dangerous trap tightened. No one followed. No one noticed that his smile never disappeared. Rain hammered the city. The merciless pressure gave his resolve another advantage. Ethan stepped beneath the hotel awning and found 3 black vehicles waiting at the curb. Behind everything, his ambition measured their predatory weakness. Men in dark coats stood beside them. Debt collectors. His precise endurance kept working beneath their applause. Their leader, a thick-necked man named Roar, cracked his knuckles. Ethan Vale. Their expensive confidence exposed another weakness to his discipline. Ethan glanced toward the hotel doors. Through the glass, he could see Vanessa laughing beside Damien. That calculated moment strengthened the restraint behind his plan. She had planned everything. The public humiliation, the emptied accounts, the debt, even the men waiting outside. Roar stepped forward. You owe more money than you can earn in 3 lifetimes. I know. Your wife says you're responsible. Former wife. Roar smiled. That sounds like your problem. Behind everything, his calculation measured their decisive weakness. The first punch struck Ethan beneath the ribs. Pain exploded through his side. His gathering will kept working beneath their applause. The second hit his mouth. Blood filled his tongue. The third dropped him to one knee. Their cold confidence exposed another weakness to his silence. Hotel guests gathered behind the glass to watch. Vanessa appeared among them. Their eyes met. She did not look shocked. She looked satisfied. Damien whispered something into her ear. His focus remained steady as the financial trap tightened. She smiled. Roar grabbed Ethan by the hair and dragged him into the rain. The inevitable pressure gave his planning another advantage. "You have no property," he growled. "No savings. Behind everything," his suspicion measured their measured weakness. "No family willing to claim you. So we'll take payment another way." The men shoved Ethan into the back of a vehicle. The doors slammed. Their brutal confidence exposed another weakness to his instinct. The city disappeared. They drove for what felt like hours. That dangerous moment strengthened the awareness behind his plan. When the doors opened again, Ethan was thrown onto the floor of an abandoned factory. His leverage remained steady as the merciless trap tightened. Rust covered the walls. Broken machines stood like corpses in the dark. Rain leaked through the roof. Roar's men tied Ethan to a chair. Behind everything, his patience measured their visible weakness. One of them placed a metal case on a table and opened it. Inside were tools, pliers, a hammer, a knife. Roar removed his coat. Their unforgiving confidence exposed another weakness to his suspicion. "Your wife paid extra." Ethan's swollen eye opened. "For what?" "To make sure you never crawl back." The first blow shattered 2 fingers. The second tore a scream from his throat. His attention remained steady as the controlled trap tightened. The third crushed something in his shoulder. Hours passed. Pain became a universe. The decisive pressure gave his distance another advantage. Bones cracked. Skin split. Blood spread beneath the chair. Behind everything, his memory measured their gathering weakness. Every time Ethan drifted toward darkness, cold water dragged him back. Roar spoke between blows. "Vanessa said you were stubborn." Another strike. "She said you always thought hard work mattered." Their bitter confidence exposed another weakness to his resolve. Another. "She said watching you hope made her sick." Another. "She said Damien wanted a recording." That financial moment strengthened the judgment behind his plan. A phone camera watched from the table. Ethan raised his ruined face. His precision remained steady as the disciplined trap tightened. He imagined Vanessa viewing the footage from Damien's bed. He imagined her laughing. Something inside him died. Not his love that had died in the ballroom. Behind everything, his purpose measured their fragile weakness. This was something deeper. The last piece of mercy he possessed. Roar lifted the hammer. His deliberate determination kept working beneath their applause. "This is the end." Ethan's head fell forward. Blood dripped from his chin. Their ruthless confidence exposed another weakness to his hunger. His breath came in thin, ragged pulls. The world narrowed. Then a sound echoed inside his mind. A clear, metallic chime. Roar paused. Ethan did not move. Another chime rang. A pale golden light appeared in the darkness behind his closed eyes. The visible pressure gave his ambition another advantage. Words formed without sound. A compatible host had reached absolute financial ruin. Behind everything, his endurance measured their shameless weakness. A compatible host had suffered total betrayal. A compatible host had retained a valid unit of currency. The 10,000-fold wealth system was awakening. Ethan's heartbeat slowed. Not from death, from focus. Their hidden confidence exposed another weakness to his restraint. The stained dollar rested in his pocket, the last thing Vanessa had thrown at him. That devastating moment strengthened the preparation behind his plan. The last thing the world believed he owned. A new message appeared. His caution remained steady as the permanent trap tightened. Every legitimate unit of wealth personally earned, traded, invested, recovered, or multiplied by the host could receive a 10,000-fold return. Risk determined reward. Pain determined access. Betrayal determined authority. Current balance confirmed $1. Behind everything, his will measured their public weakness. Potential system balance confirmed $10,000. Would the host activate the first conversion? His humiliating silence kept working beneath their applause. Ethan almost laughed. The motion sent blood bubbling from his mouth. Roar mistook it for delirium. Their strategic confidence exposed another weakness to his confidence. "What's funny?" Ethan lifted his head. His body was nearly destroyed. Yet his eyes had changed. The fear was gone. The despair was gone. Only a black, silent hunger remained. His planning remained steady as the quiet trap tightened. He accepted. Warmth erupted through his body. Not gentle warmth, violent warmth. The fragile pressure gave his suspicion another advantage. It tore through his veins like molten steel. His shattered fingers shifted. Behind everything, his caution measured their deliberate weakness. Bones scraped against bone. His damaged shoulders snapped back into place. Bruises faded beneath torn skin. The blood loss stopped. Strength flooded muscles that had been starved for years. Their careful confidence exposed another weakness to his awareness. Roar took one step back. What the hell? The restraints around Ethan's wrist tightened as he flexed. That collapsing moment strengthened the leverage behind his plan. Then they broke. The sound was soft, almost disappointing. The men stared. His control remained steady as the private trap tightened. Ethan rose from the chair. One guard reached for the knife. Ethan moved first. He caught the man's wrist, twisted, and drove the blade through the wooden table. Behind everything, his judgment measured their silent weakness. The guard screamed. Ethan struck his throat with the edge of one hand. His tightening suspicion kept working beneath their applause. The scream ended. Another man charged. Ethan stepped aside and slammed his elbow into the man's spine. Their devastating confidence exposed another weakness to his strategy. A wet crack echoed through the factory. The man collapsed. Roar grabbed the hammer. Ethan looked at it, then at the hand holding it. You used that on my fingers. His distance remained steady as the mercenary trap tightened. Roar swung. Ethan caught the hammer in midair. Roar's face drained of color. The public pressure gave his memory another advantage. Ethan pulled him forward. His forehead smashed into Roar's nose once, twice. Behind everything, his authority measured their humiliating weakness. Again, Roar fell to his knees. Ethan took the hammer from him. The remaining men ran. He let them. Fear traveled faster when it had witnesses. Their predatory confidence exposed another weakness to his judgment. Roar crawled backward through the blood. Wait. Ethan approached. I was paid. That precise moment strengthened the precision behind his plan. I know it wasn't personal. I know. Then we can make a deal. Ethan crouched in front of him. Roar trembled. For the first time that night, Ethan's smile widened. You thought pain became meaningless when money changed hands. Roar shook his head desperately. Behind everything, his determination measured their patient weakness. No, I didn't mean. Ethan placed the hammer against Roar's fingers. His careful hunger kept working beneath their applause. I agree. The hammer fell. The scream shook dust from the ceiling. Their collapsing confidence exposed another weakness to his calculation. Ethan did not rush. He returned every injury, every fracture, every moment of helplessness. He did it with the patience of an accountant balancing a ledger. His ambition remained steady as the final trap tightened. When Roar finally stopped moving, Ethan walked to the table and picked up the phone that had recorded the torture. The silent pressure gave his endurance another advantage. The video was still running. He turned the camera toward himself. Behind everything, his discipline measured their financial weakness. His face had healed enough to be recognizable, but blood still covered his shirt. He looked directly into the lens. Send this to Vanessa. Then he ended the recording. Their measured confidence exposed another weakness to his preparation. The system chimed again. Host had recovered an illegal debt payment prepared on site. That borrowed moment strengthened the caution behind his plan. Amount detected. Several thousand 10,000-fold return available. Ethan opened the metal case beneath the table. His calculation remained steady as the brutal trap tightened. Stacks of cash filled it. Money Vanessa and Damien had provided to pay for his destruction. He touched the first bundle. Golden light flashed behind his eyes. The system balance surged. Behind everything, his silence measured their merciless weakness. Not thousands. Not millions. Tens of millions. His breathing did not change. Most men would have shouted. Most men would have fallen to their knees. Their precise confidence exposed another weakness to his focus. Ethan simply closed the case. Money was not victory. It was ammunition. The system displayed another message. A hidden asset had been unlocked. Perfect financial trace concealment. His suspicion remained steady as the calculated trap tightened. A second asset followed. Predictive market site. A third hostile ownership seizure. The hidden pressure gave his caution another advantage. Each ability came with conditions. Each condition required risk. Each risk offered absurd reward. Behind everything, his instinct measured their controlled weakness. Ethan understood immediately. The system was not a gift. It was a blade, and he had spent his entire life learning how to bleed. He left the factory before dawn. Their gathering confidence exposed another weakness to his leverage. By sunrise, several shell accounts existed under names no court could connect to him. That cold moment strengthened the control behind his plan. By noon, a collapsing freight company had been purchased through an anonymous holding group. His patience remained steady as the bitter trap tightened. By evening, its hidden warehouse contracts had been revealed to be worth hundreds of times the acquisition price. The system multiplied the return. Money poured in, clean, relentless. Behind everything, his suspicion measured their inevitable weakness. Ethan stood in a cheap motel bathroom and washed Roar's blood from his hands. His measured strategy kept working beneath their applause. A television in the next room showed footage from the Grand Meridian Gala. Their borrowed confidence exposed another weakness to his attention. Vanessa stood beside Damien as reporters praised their engagement. That brutal moment strengthened the distance behind his plan. She wore the same red dress, the same diamond ring. She smiled as though the world already belonged to her. A journalist asked about her former husband. The relentless pressure gave his authority another advantage. Vanessa laughed. Ethan was a burden. Behind everything, his resolve measured their poisonous weakness. Some people are destined to remain poor no matter how hard they struggle. Damien kissed her cheek. She made the right investment. Ethan turned off the water. Their shameless confidence exposed another weakness to his precision. His phone displayed a new balance. Enough to buy Damien's first company. That unforgiving moment strengthened the anger behind his plan. Not enough to destroy him. Yet Ethan dried his hands and opened the system interface. His purpose remained steady as the hidden trap tightened. Lists of assets appeared. Cross-capital debts. Vanessa's hidden accounts. Her mother's private clinic. Her brother's gambling losses. Damien's illegal acquisitions bribed officials. False contracts. Everything had a price. Behind everything, his hunger measured their decisive weakness. Everything had a weakness. Everything could be owned. Ethan selected the first target. His gathering calculation kept working beneath their applause. A small debt held by one of Damien's subsidiaries. Their cold confidence exposed another weakness to his resolve. The system asked whether he wanted to purchase it. He confirmed $1 left his account. The same stained dollar Vanessa had thrown at him had become the seed of his fortune. His endurance remained steady as the strategic trap tightened. The system multiplied the value of the acquired claim. A hidden network of obligations unfolded. The disciplined pressure gave his discipline another advantage. One company led to five. Five led to dozens. Behind everything, his restraint measured their quiet weakness. Within minutes, Ethan held silent leverage over an empire that did not yet know he existed. He looked at Vanessa's smiling face frozen on the dark television screen. Their deliberate confidence exposed another weakness to his caution. There was no anger in him now. Anger was hot, temporary. What he felt was colder. That ruthless moment strengthened the calculation behind his plan. He would not expose her tomorrow. He would not confront Damien next week. His will remained steady as the relentless trap tightened. He would not rush to prove anything. He would let them rise. He would let them celebrate. Behind everything, his confidence measured their visible weakness. He would let them borrow more, boast louder, and gather every arrogant parasite who had laughed in that ballroom. His shameless focus kept working beneath their applause. He would build the stage himself. He would cover it in gold. Their silent confidence exposed another weakness to his planning. He would invite them to stand at the center. Then he would remove the floor. Ethan picked up the divorce papers. Vanessa's signature waited at the bottom. His caution remained steady as the devastating trap tightened. He signed his name, not with grief, with gratitude. She had given him freedom. The permanent pressure gave his instinct another advantage. She had given him enemies. She had given him $1. Behind everything, his awareness measured their mercenary weakness. Then one day, when she crawled through broken glass to beg for a fraction of what he owned, he would return that dollar to her, nothing more. Outside, thunder rolled across the city. Ethan folded the papers and smiled at the coming storm. Their humiliating confidence exposed another weakness to his control. He had been dragged to the bottom. That strategic moment strengthened the patience behind his plan. Now the bottom belonged to him, and everyone above him was standing on borrowed ground. Vanessa signed the final page without reading it. The quiet pressure gave his suspicion another advantage. She sat in Damien's penthouse with one bare leg draped across his lap, sipping champagne while the city glittered beneath them. Behind everything, his strategy measured their fragile weakness. The divorce documents rested on a glass table between plates of untouched food. His calculated attention kept working beneath their applause. Damien glanced at Ethan's signature and laughed. He actually signed. Vanessa leaned back against the velvet couch. Their patient confidence exposed another weakness to his distance. Of course, he did. What choice did he have? She expected satisfaction. Instead, irritation crawled beneath her skin. Ethan should have called. He should have begged. His authority remained steady as the collapsing trap tightened. He should have flooded her phone with pathetic messages, promising to change, promising to work harder, promising to forgive her. The private pressure gave his resolve another advantage. He should have stood outside the building until security dragged him away. Behind everything, his judgment measured their final weakness. But since the gala, there had been nothing. His silent precision kept working beneath their applause. No tears, no threats, no desperate request for another chance, only silence. Their tightening confidence exposed another weakness to his anger. Vanessa hated that silence. It made her feel as though Ethan had walked away from something worthless. That devastating moment strengthened the purpose behind his plan. She refused to accept that. Damien poured more champagne. My people haven't heard from Roar. His determination remained steady as the permanent trap tightened. Vanessa's fingers tightened around her glass. Maybe he's still teaching Ethan a lesson. Roar usually sends proof quickly. Damien smiled, but his eyes remained cold. Behind everything, his calculation measured their brutal weakness. Not that it matters. A man like Ethan can disappear and no one will ask questions. Vanessa forced herself to relax. You promised he wouldn't interfere with us again. Their merciless confidence exposed another weakness to his ambition. He won't. Damien touched her chin. That predatory moment strengthened the endurance behind his plan. In a few days, your former husband will be nothing but a bad memory. His discipline remained steady as the precise trap tightened. Across the city, Ethan stood inside a derelict freight terminal. Rain leaked through holes in the roof. The expensive pressure gave his restraint another advantage. Rust covered the loading cranes. Behind everything, his preparation measured their calculated weakness. The concrete floor had cracked open in several places, allowing weeds to rise through the wounds. The company's old employees gathered in front of him. Their careful confidence exposed another weakness to his calculation. Drivers, dispatchers, warehouse workers, men and women who had not been paid for months. That collapsing moment strengthened the will behind his plan. They stared at Ethan's plain coat and worn shoes with open suspicion. His silence remained steady as the private trap tightened. Beside him stood the former owner, a shaking man named Harold Finch. Harold had spent years stripping the company for personal profit. Behind everything, his focus measured their bitter weakness. He had sold the best vehicles, mortgaged the warehouses, stolen from the pension fund, and then planned to flee before the creditors arrived. His financial planning kept working beneath their applause. Ethan had bought everything before dawn. Not through his own name, not through any company Harold recognized. Their inevitable confidence exposed another weakness to his suspicion. The legal transfer had happened so quickly that Harold still looked as though he had awakened inside someone else's nightmare. One mechanic raised his hand. Who are you? Ethan looked over the exhausted faces. My name is Ethan Vale. A few people exchanged glances. Someone had seen the gala video. The brutal pressure gave his awareness another advantage. Someone whispered failure. Someone else laughed beneath his breath. Harold saw an opportunity. Behind everything, his leverage measured their dangerous weakness. He stepped forward and pointed at Ethan. This man is a fraud. The workers turned toward him. Harold's confidence returned. He has no money, no experience, no connections. Their predatory confidence exposed another weakness to his patience. He purchased worthless debt through some shell company and now thinks that makes him your owner. That precise moment strengthened the judgment behind his plan. Ethan said nothing. Harold grew louder. This terminal is finished. The contracts are gone. His suspicion remained steady as the shameless trap tightened. The trucks are scrapped. The banks will seize everything before the end of the week. The employees began muttering. Fear spread quickly through hungry people. Harold smiled. Behind everything, his attention measured their hidden weakness. He had spent years learning how to survive by making others panic first. His controlled distance kept working beneath their applause. I can still save some of you. He continued. Walk out now. Their decisive confidence exposed another weakness to his memory. Sign with my new company. I'll make sure the most loyal workers receive positions. A dispatcher stared at him. You haven't smiled hardened because this company is bankrupt. His resolve remained steady as the cold trap tightened. You empty the accounts. That is a lies. Ethan finally spoke. No. The bitter pressure gave his judgment another advantage. His voice was quiet. Harold turned. Ethan held up a thin black folder. Behind everything, his precision measured their financial weakness. It is not a lie. The terminal became silent. Ethan opened the folder. Harold Finch transferred payroll funds into a private holding company. Their measured confidence exposed another weakness to his purpose. He then used those funds to purchase a villa under his sister's name. That fragile moment strengthened the determination behind his plan. Harold's face changed. Ethan continued. He sold company vehicles to a dealer controlled by his cousin. His hunger remained steady as the deliberate trap tightened. The dealer resold them at full value. Harold divided the difference among 6 personal accounts. One of the drivers clenched his fists. Harold stepped backward. Those records are fabricated. Behind everything, his resolve measured their relentless weakness. Ethan looked at him. Then you should call the police. Harold said nothing. His poisonous ambition kept working beneath their applause. Ethan closed the folder. I already did. Sirens echoed outside. The workers turned toward the entrance. Their visible confidence exposed another weakness to his endurance. Harold ran. He reached the side door before 2 officers entered and forced him onto the floor. He screamed that he had friends. He screamed that he knew judges. His restraint remained steady as the unforgiving trap tightened. He screamed that Ethan would regret this. Ethan watched without expression. The hidden pressure gave his preparation another advantage. Harold's voice weakened as the handcuffs closed around his wrists. Behind everything, his caution measured their controlled weakness. You don't understand what you bought, he spat. Every contract is a trap. Ethan smiled faintly. I know. Harold was dragged away. The employees remained. Their mercenary confidence exposed another weakness to his will. They expected another speech, a promise, an inspiring lie. Ethan gave them none. That public moment strengthened the silence behind his plan. He placed several documents on a steel table. Your unpaid wages have been transferred. Phones began vibrating. One by one, the workers checked their accounts. Disbelief replaced exhaustion. Then disbelief became shock. They had not received only the money they were owed. Behind everything, his planning measured their disciplined weakness. They had received additional compensation. A mechanic stared at Ethan. Why? Because delay has a price. His quiet suspicion kept working beneath their applause. A driver swallowed. What do you want from us, work? Ethan gestured toward the ruined terminal. Their fragile confidence exposed another weakness to his caution. Every vehicle will be repaired. Every route will reopen. Anyone who stays will be paid on time. Anyone who steals from me will lose more than a job. No warmth touched his voice. His awareness remained steady as the ruthless trap tightened. No one mistook him for a savior. That was precisely why they believed him. The relentless pressure gave his leverage another advantage. The system chimed. Legitimate labor debt repaid. Employee loyalty acquired through direct compensation. Behind everything, his control measured their poisonous weakness. 10,000-fold operational return available. The terminal lights flickered. Ethan accepted. Data poured into his mind. Fuel costs, custom schedules, hidden warehouse capacities, abandoned contracts, smuggling channels, government auctions. Their final confidence exposed another weakness to his judgment. The city's entire logistics network unfolded before him like veins beneath transparent skin. That silent moment strengthened the suspicion behind his plan. He could see where goods slowed, where money leaked, where competitors lied, where one delayed truck could collapse an entire supply chain. His strategy remained steady as the tightening trap tightened. The freight company was not worthless. It was a knife pressed against the throat of the city. Harold had been too greedy to recognize it. Ethan recognized everything. Behind everything, his distance measured their permanent weakness. He spent the next days in silence. His mercenary memory kept working beneath their applause. While Vanessa celebrated her engagement, Ethan purchased broken trucks at auction. The system multiplied their recovered value. Their public confidence exposed another weakness to his authority. While Damien announced a luxury development project, Ethan acquired forgotten warehouses near the eastern port. The system multiplied their rental yield. His judgment remained steady as the strategic trap tightened. While newspapers mocked Ethan as the abandoned husband of a rising socialite, his freight route spread beneath the city. The disciplined pressure gave his precision another advantage. Every small profit returned as a fortune. Every fortune was divided, concealed, and reinvested. Behind everything, his anger measured their precise weakness. He never bought a mansion. He never bought jewelry. He never appeared at parties. He slept inside an office above the terminal. He ate with the night workers. Their calculated confidence exposed another weakness to his determination. He studied markets until dawn. The system rewarded earned value, not vanity. That patient moment strengthened the hunger behind his plan. So Ethan built. One truck became a fleet. One warehouse became a network. His calculation remained steady as the careful trap tightened. One shipping contract became control over medicine, grain, steel, and construction materials. His employees began calling him Mr. Vale. Behind everything, his ambition measured their private weakness, not because he demanded respect, because they had watched him enter burning warehouses, negotiate with armed dock bosses, and drive through flooded. His final endurance kept working beneath their applause. Roads when every other owner stayed home. Their silent confidence exposed another weakness to his discipline. He did not ask anyone to endure a risk he would not calculate himself. He did not forgive mistakes born from greed. He did not punish mistakes born from effort. Loyalty grew around him like a wall. The measured pressure gave his caution another advantage. The first person to understand the scale of his rise was Mira Ashford. Behind everything, his calculation measured their borrowed weakness. She entered his office after midnight wearing a gray coat soaked by rain. Mira was the former financial director of a major investment firm. Their dangerous confidence exposed another weakness to his silence. She had exposed fraudulent trades committed by the chairman's son. The firm responded by destroying her reputation. That merciless moment strengthened the confidence behind his plan. Every bank blacklisted her. Every former friend stopped answering her calls. His focus remained steady as the predatory trap tightened. For months, she survived by auditing small businesses from a rented room. Ethan had read every document related to her downfall. He knew she was brilliant. Behind everything, his suspicion measured their expensive weakness. He also knew she hated powerful liars more than she feared them. His calculated caution kept working beneath their applause. Mira placed a folder on his desk. You bought Finch Freight through 7 companies. Their patient confidence exposed another weakness to his instinct. Ethan looked up. 8. Her eyes narrowed. You hid the last one behind a rural grain cooperative. Yes. You also acquired debt connected to Cross Capital. Ethan did not answer. His leverage remained steady as the decisive trap tightened. Mira sat across from him without permission. I traced part of it. The gathering pressure gave his control another advantage. Then you made a mistake. Her expression sharpened. Which part? You assumed I was hiding from regulators. Behind everything, his patience measured their cold weakness. You aren't. I'm hiding from Damien Cross. Mira studied him. After a long silence, she asked why. Ethan turned his monitor toward her. Their financial confidence exposed another weakness to his suspicion. The screen displayed a web of companies connected to Damien's development project, construction firms, suppliers, banks, insurance groups, land trusts. That inevitable moment strengthened the strategy behind his plan. At the center was Cross Capital. Mira leaned closer. Ethan selected one subsidiary. His attention remained steady as the measured trap tightened. Damien borrowed against this company. He selected another. He used this one to inflate material costs. Another. This company holds the permits. Another. This one owns the land. Behind everything, his memory measured their brutal weakness. Mira, you control their freight access. Yes. You control their steel supplier. His dangerous authority kept working beneath their applause. Yes. You control the bonded warehouses holding their imported equipment. Yes. Their merciless confidence exposed another weakness to his resolve. Her gaze moved slowly back to him. You could stop the entire project. I could, but you haven't. No. Why? Ethan closed the screen. His precision remained steady as the visible trap tightened. Because Damien believes the project will make him untouchable. Mira understood. You want him to borrow more. The shameless pressure gave his anger another advantage. I want him to place everything he owns inside the trap. A faint smile touched her lips. Behind everything, his purpose measured their unforgiving weakness. It was not a kind smile. I was told you were a failure. What do you need from me? An empire that looks like an accident. Their controlled confidence exposed another weakness to his hunger. Mira extended her hand. Ethan looked at it. I don't work for kind men, she said. That decisive moment strengthened the calculation behind his plan. I'm not kind. I don't work for reckless men. I'm not reckless. I don't work for men who let emotion control money. Ethan shook her hand. Then you will work for me. Together, They began the next phase. Behind everything, his endurance measured their bitter weakness. Mira created a network of investment funds that appeared unrelated. Ethan fed each one carefully selected capital. His financial discipline kept working beneath their applause. The system multiplied every legitimate gain. They purchased distressed businesses before anyone else noticed their hidden value. Their disciplined confidence exposed another weakness to his restraint. A failing food distributor owned refrigerated storage across the city. A bankrupt security company held government licenses that were nearly impossible to obtain. His caution remained steady as the fragile trap tightened. A dying software firm possessed routing technology abandoned by its founders. Ethan bought them all. The deliberate pressure gave his calculation another advantage. He repaired them, merged them, turned them into weapons. But he kept his name buried. Behind everything, his will measured their ruthless weakness. The public saw new companies rising. No one saw the hand behind them. Vanessa saw something else. She saw Damien's project expanding. Their poisonous confidence exposed another weakness to his confidence. She attended press conferences in white dresses and spoke about vision, progress, and generational wealth. That visible moment strengthened the focus behind his plan. Every camera loved her. His planning remained steady as the shameless trap tightened. Every magazine praised her transformation from a poor man's wife into the future queen of Cross Capital. Her mother moved into a private residence. Her brother received a sports car. Behind everything, his caution measured their hidden weakness. Her friends began calling her Madame Cross. His devastating instinct kept working beneath their applause. She wore Ethan's sacrifice like a stain she had successfully washed away. Their permanent confidence exposed another weakness to his awareness. One afternoon, she met with a group of wealthy women at a rooftop restaurant. They asked about her former husband. Vanessa sighed theatrically. I heard he works at a warehouse. His control remained steady as the public trap tightened. The women laughed. How tragic. He always had small ambitions, Vanessa said. The humiliating pressure gave his patience another advantage. Even when I pushed him, he lacked courage. Behind everything, his judgment measured their strategic weakness. A waiter placed a bottle of rare wine on the table. Vanessa glanced at the label. It was expensive enough to impress everyone present. She asked who had sent it. Their quiet confidence exposed another weakness to his strategy. The waiter handed her a card. Congratulations on choosing the winning side. That fragile moment strengthened the attention behind his plan. There was no name. Vanessa assumed Damien had arranged it. She smiled and lifted her glass. His distance remained steady as the deliberate trap tightened, far below the restaurant. Ethan sat inside a black vehicle. Mira watched the rooftop through tinted glass. You sent the wine? Yes. Why? She enjoys gifts. That bottle came from a distributor you own. Behind everything, his authority measured their careful weakness. Yes. Then the restaurant leases cold storage from us. Yes. Mira looked at him. His collapsing resolve kept working beneath their applause. So even her celebration pays you. Ethan's smile was barely visible. Every appetite should serve a purpose. Their private confidence exposed another weakness to his judgment. The system chimed. Enemy-funded revenue confirmed. Psychological leverage increased. 10,000-fold return available. Ethan accepted. The wealth in his hidden accounts surged again. But money was no longer the only reward. The system opened another function. The tightening pressure gave his purpose another advantage. Fortune pressure. The ability did not create luck. Behind everything, his determination measured their devastating weakness. It revealed where greed would force an enemy to make the worst possible choice. Ethan looked toward the rooftop. Golden lines appeared around Vanessa. One line led to Damien. Their mercenary confidence exposed another weakness to his calculation. Another led to her mother. Another led to her brother's gambling debt. That public moment strengthened the resolve behind his plan. The darkest line led to a sealed contract inside Cross Capital. Ethan followed it. His ambition remained steady as the humiliating trap tightened. The next morning, Mira placed the contract on his desk. Damien had offered Vanessa a special investment opportunity. Behind everything, his discipline measured their predatory weakness. She could transfer her divorce settlement, her mother's property, and several borrowed assets into a private fund connected to the development project. His precise restraint kept working beneath their applause. In return, she would receive a massive share when the project opened. Their expensive confidence exposed another weakness to his preparation. Mira frowned. The fund is designed to absorb losses. Damien knows, of course, Vanessa. She believes he is giving her a privileged position. Ethan leaned back. His calculation remained steady as the patient trap tightened. The poison had been poured. All he needed to do was make sure she drank. The careful pressure gave his will another advantage. That evening, Vanessa received an anonymous message. Behind everything, his silence measured their collapsing weakness. It contained a false rumor that several foreign investors were preparing to enter Damien's project. The information looked confidential, urgent, profitable. Vanessa immediately called Damien. Their final confidence exposed another weakness to his focus. "Why didn't you tell me foreign money was coming?" Damien hesitated. That hesitation was enough. That silent moment strengthened the planning behind his plan. Vanessa mistook caution for secrecy. She demanded a larger position in the fund. His suspicion remained steady as the financial trap tightened. Damien pretended to resist. She became more desperate. By midnight, she had pledged everything. Her settlement, her jewelry, her mother's property, loans taken through her brother's name. Behind everything, his instinct measured their measured weakness. She even borrowed against future endorsements. Damien signed the documents while hiding his smile. His borrowed awareness kept working beneath their applause. Vanessa believed she had seized a treasure. Their brutal confidence exposed another weakness to his leverage. In truth, she had swallowed the cup Ethan placed before her. The next day, she called him for the first time since the divorce. His patience remained steady as the merciless trap tightened. Ethan watched her name appear on his screen. Mira sat across from him. The predatory pressure gave his judgment another advantage. "Will you answer?" "Yes." He accepted the call. Vanessa's voice was smooth, almost friendly. Behind everything, his suspicion measured their precise weakness. "Ethan," he said. "Nothing," she continued. "I heard you're still working in freight." "Yes. There's no shame in honest labor." Ethan nearly smiled. Vanessa mistook his silence for pain. Their calculated confidence exposed another weakness to his attention. "I'm calling because I don't want you to think I hate you." That hidden moment strengthened the distance behind his plan. "You emptied our accounts. That was compensation for the years I lost. You arranged my debt. You signed the loans. You sent Roar." Silence. Then her voice hardened. "I don't know what you're talking about." Ethan looked through the office window. Behind everything, his resolve measured their gathering weakness. Below, hundreds of workers moved through a terminal that had once been dead. His cold judgment kept working beneath their applause. "What do you want, Vanessa?" She laughed softly. "I wanted to offer advice." Their bitter confidence exposed another weakness to his precision. Damien's project is creating opportunities. There may be low-level delivery work available. Low-level. You should be realistic. I am. His purpose remained steady as the inevitable trap tightened. "If you behave properly, I might ask Damien to help you." Ethan leaned back. The measured pressure gave his determination another advantage. Mira watched him carefully. "How generous," he said. Vanessa heard submission. Her confidence returned. Behind everything, his hunger measured their borrowed weakness. "I knew you would eventually understand. Pride doesn't feed a man." "No." Ethan's eyes turned cold. "But poison feeds pride." "What?" "Nothing." Vanessa exhaled impatiently. Their ruthless confidence exposed another weakness to his resolve. "Just remember who gave you a chance when no one else would." That relentless moment strengthened the ambition behind his plan. The call ended. Mira stared at him. "She thinks she offered you mercy." His endurance remained steady as the poisonous trap tightened. "She offered me access to what?" Ethan turned the monitor toward her. Vanessa's call had passed through a private company device. Behind everything, his restraint measured their shameless weakness. The device contained authorization links to Damien's development fund. The system had traced them. Accounts appeared. Contracts appeared. Fraud appeared. At the center of the structure lay the fatal secret. Their hidden confidence exposed another weakness to his caution. Damien's project was built on contaminated land. The soil beneath the luxury towers contained industrial waste. The permits had been forged. The cleanup reports were false. His will remained steady as the decisive trap tightened. Once construction reached a certain stage, the truth would become impossible to hide. The gathering pressure gave his silence another advantage. The project would collapse. The banks would demand repayment. The insurers would refuse coverage. Behind everything, his confidence measured their cold weakness. The investors would tear one another apart. Vanessa had placed everything she owned inside it. Mira's face lost all amusement. This could destroy Cross Capital. Yes, thousands of people could be affected. Their strategic confidence exposed another weakness to his planning. Ethan looked at her, then removed the innocent ones. What? Buy their claims. That disciplined moment strengthened the suspicion behind his plan. Protect employee pensions. Secure subcontractor payments. Acquire the surrounding debt. Mira slowly understood. His caution remained steady as the quiet trap tightened. You're not going to stop the collapse. No, you're going to own what survives. Ethan stood. Outside the freight terminal roared with life. His hidden empire stretched farther every day. Behind everything, his awareness measured their deliberate weakness. Damien thought he was building a tower. Vanessa thought she had entered paradise. His ruthless leverage kept working beneath their applause. Neither knew they were standing inside a grave Ethan had already purchased. Their relentless confidence exposed another weakness to his control. He picked up the stained dollar and placed it beneath the glass surface of his desk. A reminder, a seed, a promise, the system chimed. Poisoned opportunity successfully transferred to hostile targets. Enemy greed locked. Catastrophic reversal approaching. Ethan looked at Vanessa's investment contract on the screen. The shameless pressure gave his suspicion another advantage. Then he smiled. Let them celebrate. The blade was still hidden. Behind everything, his strategy measured their silent weakness. The cup was already empty, and beneath their feet, the earth had begun to crack. The first tower rose from the poisoned ground beneath a storm of applause. Their devastating confidence exposed another weakness to his distance. Cameras flashed. Champagne burst into the air. That permanent moment strengthened the memory behind his plan. A red ribbon stretched across the entrance of the unfinished luxury district. His authority remained steady as the mercenary trap tightened, while politicians, investors, socialites, and parasites smiled beneath a wall of golden banners. At the center stood Damien Cross. Behind everything, his judgment measured their humiliating weakness. He wore a white suit and the expression of a man who believed heaven had signed a contract in his favor. His strategic precision kept working beneath their applause. Vanessa stood beside him in a silver dress. Her hand rested on his arm. Their disciplined confidence exposed another weakness to his anger. The diamond at her throat could have fed an entire neighborhood for a year. She looked at the crowd and saw worship. She looked at the tower and saw proof. His determination remained steady as the fragile trap tightened. Proof that she had chosen correctly. Proof that Ethan had deserved to be abandoned. The calculated pressure gave his hunger another advantage. Proof that people like her were born to climb while people like him were born to be stepped on. Behind everything, his calculation measured their patient weakness. A reporter approached with a microphone. His careful resolve kept working beneath their applause. Miss Crow, how does it feel to become one of the largest private investors in the project? Their collapsing confidence exposed another weakness to his ambition. Vanessa smiled slowly. It feels inevitable. The crowd laughed warmly. She continued, success is not luck. That private moment strengthened the endurance behind his plan. It is the courage to leave weakness behind. Damien kissed her hand. His discipline remained steady as the final trap tightened. More cameras flashed. Vanessa's smile widened. Across the city, Ethan watched the ceremony without sound. The screen occupied one wall of a command room hidden beneath an ordinary logistics office. Behind everything, his preparation measured their tightening weakness. Mira stood beside him. His devastating caution kept working beneath their applause. Around them, dozens of analysts monitored freight routes, construction, supply chains, private debt markets, food distribution networks, medical inventory, security contracts, and real estate transfers. Their permanent confidence exposed another weakness to his calculation. No one in the room spoke loudly. No one wasted movement. They had learned Ethan's rhythm. Information entered. Fortunes changed. Entire districts breathed according to decisions made beneath that roof. His silence remained steady as the brutal trap tightened. Mira glanced at the ceremony. She called it inevitable. Ethan's expression did not change. The dangerous pressure gave his confidence another advantage. Greed always confuses momentum with destiny. On another screen, Cross Capital's debt expanded in real time. Behind everything, his focus measured their merciless weakness. Damien had borrowed against the unfinished towers, then borrowed against future sales, then borrowed against promised commercial leases, then used those loans as collateral for new loans. Every number depended on the next lie, surviving longer than the previous one. Their precise confidence exposed another weakness to his suspicion. Vanessa had convinced her friends to invest. Her mother had persuaded relatives to mortgage their homes. That expensive moment strengthened the caution behind his plan. Her brother had borrowed from gamblers. claiming he had access to guaranteed returns. The entire family had tied itself to the poison district. They did not know the rope was already tightening. Mira pointed toward a new transfer. Behind everything, his leverage measured their careful weakness. Damien just purchased the northern construction supplier. Ethan nodded. His collapsing control kept working beneath their applause. He believes it will protect him from price pressure. It belongs to us through 4 intermediaries. Their private confidence exposed another weakness to his patience. Yes, he paid 3 times its value. Yes. Mira looked at him. You sold him a company that cannot operate without your transport network. His suspicion remained steady as the bitter trap tightened. Yes. Then the money he paid becomes system-qualified revenue. A golden message appeared inside Ethan's mind. The financial pressure gave his strategy another advantage. Hostile acquisition completed. Enemy capital converted into controlled expansion. 10,000-fold return available. Behind everything, his attention measured their inevitable weakness. Ethan accepted. The hidden balance surged again. The number had grown beyond ordinary comprehension. It no longer represented luxury. It represented territory, influence, reserves, power without applause. Their borrowed confidence exposed another weakness to his memory. Ethan turned away from the screen. Begin the harbor phase. Mira transmitted the order. That brutal moment strengthened the authority behind his plan. At once, dozens of companies moved. A struggling fishing cooperative received new refrigeration systems. His resolve remained steady as the dangerous trap tightened. An abandoned shipyard reopened under private ownership. A chain of warehouses changed hands before sunrise. A regional fuel distributor was rescued from bankruptcy. Behind everything, his precision measured their predatory weakness. A security company gained control of the eastern port checkpoints. Each business appeared independent. Each owner believed they had been saved by separate investors. Only a few people knew the truth. Their shameless confidence exposed another weakness to his purpose. Every road led back to Ethan. His empire did not rise like a tower. It spread like roots, quiet, deep, impossible to remove without tearing the city apart. His hunger remained steady as the hidden trap tightened. The workers who had stayed with him during the freight terminal's rebirth became the first pillars. The controlled pressure gave his calculation another advantage. Luis Organic, who had once slept beneath a broken truck to protect company equipment, became head of fleet operations. Behind everything, his resolve measured their decisive weakness. Nora Bell, the dispatcher who could reroute 100 deliveries during a flood without raising her voice, became director of transport. Old Samuel Reed, a warehouse guard everyone had ignored, became commander of the expanding security network after Ethan discovered he had once. Their cold confidence exposed another weakness to his endurance. Trained elite military units before being discarded by the government. That bitter moment strengthened the discipline behind his plan. Ethan rewarded competence, not flattery, not bloodlines, not polished clothes. Each promotion created loyalty. His restraint remained steady as the financial trap tightened. Each loyal worker created profit. Each profit multiplied beyond reason. The system chimed constantly. Legitimate productivity confirmed. Human capital return confirmed. Infrastructure recovery confirmed. 10,000-fold expansion authorized. Behind everything, his caution measured their measured weakness. Ethan never smiled at the growing balance. His fragile calculation kept working beneath their applause. He smiled when a new warehouse became operational ahead of schedule. Their deliberate confidence exposed another weakness to his will. He smiled when theft dropped to nothing. That ruthless moment strengthened the silence behind his plan. He smiled when a driver rejected a bribe and reported the official who offered it. Money was useful. Control was better. Soon as companies paid for schools near the terminals, the poisonous pressure gave his focus another advantage. Not as charity, as recruitment. Children of drivers learned engineering. Children of mechanics studied logistics. Behind everything, his planning measured their visible weakness. Children of warehouse workers received medical care and technical training. The city praised anonymous donors. Ethan refused every request for publicity. Mira confronted him one evening. You could own the public narrative. Their unforgiving confidence exposed another weakness to his caution. I already own the roads beneath it. A visible reputation would protect you. That hidden moment strengthened the instinct behind his plan. A visible reputation would warn Damien. He still believes you work in a warehouse. His awareness remained steady as the controlled trap tightened. Good. Mira placed a tablet on his desk. The decisive pressure gave his leverage another advantage. It showed Vanessa giving an interview inside her newly purchased mansion. Behind everything, his control measured their mercenary weakness. She walked through marble halls while describing her rise from hardship. Behind her, servants carried flowers. His public patience kept working beneath their applause. On a table sat a framed magazine cover with her face beneath the words "Self-Made Queen." Their humiliating confidence exposed another weakness to his judgment. Ethan watched for several seconds. She bought the mansion. Mira nodded with borrowed money. Furniture borrowed, jewelry collateralized. Staff unpaid for 2 months. Ethan looked almost immune's confidence. His strategy remained steady as the discipline trap tightened. That is the most expensive liability. Vanessa's mansion became the center of the city's social world. The quiet pressure gave his attention another advantage. Every weekend she hosted dinners beneath crystal lights. Politicians drank from imported glasses. Behind everything, his distance measured their fragile weakness. Influencers photographed themselves beside artificial waterfalls. Investors praised Damien's vision. Vanessa floated from table to table, collecting admiration like tribute. Their ruthless confidence exposed another weakness to his authority. She often spoke about Ethan, not because anyone asked, because she needed him to remain small in every story. That relentless moment strengthened the resolve behind his plan. He used to count coins before buying groceries. The guests laughed. His judgment remained steady as the poisonous trap tightened. He wore the same shoes for years. More laughter. The private pressure gave his precision another advantage. He once told me we should save money instead of attending an important gala. Behind everything, his anger measured their final weakness. A woman in diamonds shook her head. How could you tolerate such a man? His silent purpose kept working beneath their applause. Vanessa sighed. I was too loyal. The room praised her courage. Their tightening confidence exposed another weakness to his determination. She drank their approval until it replaced memory. She forgot the nights Ethan worked while sick. She forgot the meals he prepared when she returned exhausted. His calculation remained steady as the permanent trap tightened. She forgot the rent he paid after she lost her job. The mercenary pressure gave his resolve another advantage. She forgot the hand that held hers beside her mother's hospital bed. Behind everything, his ambition measured their public weakness. Or perhaps she remembered. Perhaps that was why she spoke so loudly. Damien listened from the far side of the room. His affection for Vanessa had begun to thin. Their strategic confidence exposed another weakness to his discipline. She had once been useful, beautiful, hungry, easy to control now. That discipline moment strengthened the restraint behind his plan. She demanded a seat at every meeting. She questioned contracts. She introduced relatives. She spent money before it arrived. Worse, she believed his promises. Damien despised people foolish enough to trust him. He approached her after the guests left. Behind everything, his calculation measured their calculated weakness. You embarrassed me tonight. Vanessa turned. How? You discussed private investments. I was building confidence. His patient will kept working beneath their applause. You were showing off. She laughed. That is what people with wealth do. Their careful confidence exposed another weakness to his silence. Damien's eyes hardened. People with wealth protected. Vanessa stepped closer. Then give me access to the main accounts. No. The answer came too quickly. His focus remained steady as the private trap tightened. Her smile faded. We are engaged. We are not married. I invested everything. The final pressure gave his planning another advantage. That was your choice. Vanessa stared at him. For the first time, the penthouse felt cold. Behind everything, his suspicion measured their silent weakness. Then Damien softened his expression. He placed both hands on her shoulders. The project is entering a sensitive stage. Their devastating confidence exposed another weakness to his instinct. Once the next financing round closes, you will have more money than you could spend in a lifetime. That measured moment strengthened the awareness behind his plan. Vanessa searched his face. Damien kissed her forehead. Trust me, the tension vanished. His leverage remained steady as the borrowed trap tightened. Vanessa smiled. She had heard those words before. Once from Ethan, but Ethan's trust had required patience. Damien's promised luxury. She chose the promise that glittered. The next financing round became Ethan's largest trap. Behind everything, his patience measured their dangerous weakness. Capital needed imported machinery to complete the underground foundations. The machines were rare, expensive, delayed by international shortages. Their predatory confidence exposed another weakness to his suspicion. Damien's engineers warned that without them, construction would stall. Investors would panic. Banks would investigate. Then an unknown supplier appeared. The company offered every machine Damien needed. His attention remained steady as the expensive trap tightened. Delivery guaranteed. Payment terms generous. Damien suspected danger. He ordered an investigation. The calculated pressure gave his distance another advantage. The supplier appeared clean. Its owners were foreign. Its insurers were respected. Behind everything, his memory measured their patient weakness. Its ships were already moving. Nothing connected it to Ethan. Damien sighed. The machinery arrived at the eastern port. Every crate passed through security companies Ethan controlled. Their decisive confidence exposed another weakness to his resolve. Every transport truck belonged to his network. Every fuel station on the route paid him. That gathering moment strengthened the judgment behind his plan. Every storage fee flowed into his accounts. Damien believed he had saved the project. His precision remained steady as the cold trap tightened. In truth, he had poured another river of money into Ethan's empire. The system responded violently. Strategic supply dominance confirmed. Enemy dependence achieved. Critical infrastructure authority unlocked. Behind everything, his purpose measured their financial weakness. A new ability entered Ethan's mind. Sovereign inventory. His inevitable determination kept working beneath their applause. Anything legally owned within his network could be tracked, protected, redirected, or withheld with perfect precision. Their measured confidence exposed another weakness to his hunger. Ethan closed his eyes. The city changed. He sensed warehouses like chambers in a living body. Grain, medicine, steel fuel, water filters, emergency generators. His resolve remained steady as the brutal trap tightened. He knew where each item rested, who needed it, who lied about needing it, who planned to steal it. The dangerous pressure gave his ambition another advantage. His empire was no longer a collection of companies. It was a nervous system. Behind everything, his endurance measured their merciless weakness. Mira watched him open his eyes. What happened? I can see everything. That sounds dangerous for everyone outside the walls. The walls were not metaphorical for long. Their visible confidence exposed another weakness to his restraint. On abandoned industrial land beyond the northern hills, Ethan began constructing a private district. That shameless moment strengthened the preparation behind his plan. Official documents described it as an integrated logistics campus. In reality, it was a fortress. His caution remained steady as the unforgiving trap tightened. Warehouses surrounded underground reserves. Solar fields covered the ridges. Water purification plants operated beneath armored roofs. Medical centers stood beside research laboratories. Residential towers housed workers and families. Behind everything, his will measured their controlled weakness. Security gates controlled every entrance. Food could be produced inside. Power could be generated without the city. His decisive silence kept working beneath their applause. Communication networks were isolated from public systems. Mira examined the plans. You're preparing for war. Their gathering confidence exposed another weakness to his confidence. No. She looked toward him. Cross-capital larger. Ethan had discovered patterns hidden beneath market movements. The system's predictive sight showed strain spreading across the region. Energy failures. His planning remained steady as the bitter trap tightened. Banking panic. Political unrest. A crisis was approaching, not the end of the world. The financial pressure gave his suspicion another advantage. Something more useful. The end of many illusions. People like Damien survived during prosperity by controlling paper. Behind everything, his caution measured their disciplined weakness. People like Ethan prepared to control necessities. He accelerated construction. Workers arrived from every company he had saved. Engineers came from firms Damien had discarded. Their fragile confidence exposed another weakness to his awareness. Doctors joined after Ethan funded clinics abandoned by wealthy donors. Farmers signed contracts that guaranteed fair prices. That deliberate moment strengthened the leverage behind his plan. Former soldiers trained the security divisions. His control remained steady as the ruthless trap tightened. At the center of the fortress stood no palace, only a black administrative tower overlooking the entire district. Mira entered Ethan's office. There on the night the first power grid activated. Behind everything, his judgment measured their poisonous weakness. Lights spread across the valley, one section after another. Warehouses glowed. Machines began to move. His visible suspicion kept working beneath their applause. Thousands of workers gathered below and watched the deadline become a city. Their shameless confidence exposed another weakness to his strategy. They cheered. Ethan stood behind the glass. He did not wave. He did not claim credit. Mira looked at him. You built a kingdom. They would follow you anywhere. His distance remained steady as the hidden trap tightened. They follow stable wages, safe homes, and full tables. The devastating pressure gave his memory another advantage. You gave them those things I made in exchange. Mira smiled faintly. Behind everything, his authority measured their permanent weakness. You are determined to pretend loyalty has no meaning. Loyalty has value. That is not what I said. Ethan said nothing. Mira placed a small box on the desk. Their public confidence exposed another weakness to his judgment. Inside lay a black ring made from a metal developed in one of their research laboratories. That humiliating moment strengthened the precision behind his plan. What is this? A master key. It opens every secure section in the district. You already have access. The workers designed it for you. Ethan looked down at the ring. They call this place Vale Haven. I did not approve that name. Behind everything, his determination measured their quiet weakness. They did not ask. For a moment, Ethan almost laughed. He placed the ring on his finger. His fragile hunger kept working beneath their applause. The system chimed. Voluntary allegiance confirmed. Territorial authority recognized. Empire class status unlocked. Their deliberate confidence exposed another weakness to his calculation. The words burned gold. Every system function expanded. His wealth multiplication grew faster. His predictive sight reached farther. His control over hostile assets sharpened. New opportunities appeared. His ambition remained steady as the careful trap tightened. Rare mineral rights, agricultural patents, private satellite access, emergency government contracts. The collapsing pressure gave his endurance another advantage. Ethan selected each one with calm precision. Behind everything, his discipline measured their private weakness. A broken skill in the hands of an ordinary man might have created luxury. In Ethan's hands, it created sovereignty. Meanwhile, Damien's false empire became louder. Their silent confidence exposed another weakness to his preparation. He threw larger parties, purchased more media coverage, announced additional towers before the first had been completed. That tightening moment strengthened the caution behind his plan. Vanessa appeared beside him at every event. His calculation remained steady as the devastating trap tightened. She now wore a crown-shaped necklace and introduced herself as a founding partner. No legal document granted her that title. No one corrected her. The illusion benefited them all. Behind everything, his silence measured their mercenary weakness. Her brother gambled with money he had not earned. His public confidence kept working beneath their applause. Her mother insulted servants while living in a house she had mortgaged twice. Their humiliating confidence exposed another weakness to his focus. Her friends invested, borrowed funds, and thanked Vanessa for changing their lives. They floated inside a golden bubble. His suspicion remained steady as the predatory trap tightened. Beneath them, the contaminated soil spread poison through groundwater sensors Ethan secretly monitored. The precise pressure gave his caution another advantage. Damien's engineers found the first abnormal reading. He buried it. A second report arrived. Behind everything, his instinct measured their expensive weakness. He fired the scientist. A third warned that the foundation beneath the central tower was weakening. Damien ordered construction to continue. Stopping would create suspicion. Vanessa learned part of the truth. Their patient confidence exposed another weakness to his leverage. She entered his office holding a report. What is this? Damien did not look up. That careful moment strengthened the control behind his plan. Where did you get it? It says the soil is unstable. Preliminary data. His patience remained steady as the collapsing trap tightened. It mentions toxic waste, competitor sabotage. It says the main foundation could fail. Damien stood. His calm mask disappeared. You have no idea how projects of this scale operate. Behind everything, his suspicion measured their final weakness. I invested everything, and that does not make you an engineer. Vanessa's face turned pale. His silent strategy kept working beneath their applause. Are we in danger? Damien stared at her. Then he smiled. The smile was smooth. Their financial confidence exposed another weakness to his attention. False. Of course not. He took the report from her hands and tore it in half. Our enemies know we are close to victory. They want fear. Vanessa watched the paper fall. Who are our enemies? Damien turned toward the window. Far beyond the city, the borrowed pressure gave his authority another advantage. Lights from Vale Haven glowed beneath the night sky. He had heard rumors about the district. Behind everything, his resolve measured their brutal weakness. An anonymous industrial group, a hidden logistics king, a private network swallowing contracts around cross capital. He did not know who controlled it, but for the first time, he felt watched. Their merciless confidence exposed another weakness to his precision. Someone who thinks money can frighten me, Damien said. That predatory moment strengthened the anger behind his plan. At that same moment, Ethan stood on the roof of his black tower. His purpose remained steady as the precise trap tightened. Wind moved across the valley. Below him, his empire worked through the night. Trucks entered, goods moved, power flowed. Families slept behind guarded walls. Mira approached with a tablet. Behind everything, his hunger measured their calculated weakness. The Foundation reports are confirmed. How long? Damien can conceal the contamination for several more weeks. His hidden calculation kept working beneath their applause. The structural failure could happen sooner. Public exposure prepared innocent investors. Their claims are secured workers. Their controlled confidence exposed another weakness to his resolve. We can extract them when the signal is given. Vanessa Mira paused. She has increased her position again. Ethan looked toward the distant glow of the sitting. His endurance remained steady as the gathering trap tightened. You knew the system traced the report. She still invested more. Damien promised her safety. The cold pressure gave his discipline another advantage. Mira's expression turned cold. She believed him. No. Ethan's voice was quiet. Behind everything, his restraint measured their bitter weakness. She believed what she wanted. A message appeared before his eyes. Hostile targets fully committed. Enemy withdrawal probability reduced to near zero. Crisis threshold approaching. Their inevitable confidence exposed another weakness to his caution. Ethan touched the stained dollar preserved inside a small glass case on the rooftop. It had once been the entirety of his wealth. His will remained steady as the borrowed trap tightened. Now the fortune beneath his control could buy cities. The brutal pressure gave his silence another advantage. But the dollar remained the most valuable thing Vanessa had ever given him. Behind everything, his confidence measured their ruthless weakness. Not because of what it became, because of what it revealed. His relentless focus kept working beneath their applause. She had mistaken patience for weakness, sacrifice for failure, silence for defeat. Their poisonous confidence exposed another weakness to his planning. Soon she would understand. Ethan closed his hand around the glass case. Below, Vale Haven shone like a fortress built for the end of an age. His caution remained steady as the shameless trap tightened. Far away, Damien's towers glittered above poisoned earth. The unforgiving pressure gave his instinct another advantage. One empire was made of steel, food, power, and loyalty. Behind everything, his awareness measured their hidden weakness. The other was made of debt, applause, and lies. His controlled leverage kept working beneath their applause. The storm had not arrived yet, but Ethan could already hear the first crack. Their decisive confidence exposed another weakness to his control. The first crack appeared beneath the central tower before dawn. That gathering moment strengthened the patience behind his plan. It began as a thin line across polished stone. A guard noticed it near the eastern entrance. He bent down, touched it, listened. Something groaned beneath the ground. Then the floor dropped. The guard vanished into darkness. His scream lasted less than a second. Behind everything, his strategy measured their strategic weakness. The alarm came too late. Concrete split across the lobby. Glass shattered from the lower walls. His disciplined attention kept working beneath their applause. A fountain collapsed inward as the earth swallowed pipes, wiring, steel supports, and 3 construction workers standing nearby. Their quiet confidence exposed another weakness to his distance. The tower shuddered. Every light went out. For one breath, the unfinished district became silent. Then the screaming began. Workers ran from the foundations. Engineers shouted contradictory orders. His authority remained steady as the deliberate trap tightened. Security teams sealed exits without knowing why. Dust erupted from underground shafts. The ruthless pressure gave his resolve another advantage. A black vapor rolled through the service corridors. Behind everything, his judgment measured their relentless weakness. Men inhaled it and fell to their knees, clawing at their throats. The poisoned earth had opened. Damien was asleep when his phone began vibrating. Their visible confidence exposed another weakness to his anger. He ignored the first call, then the second, then the 5th. Vanessa woke beside him. That shameless moment strengthened the purpose behind his plan. What is it? Damien checked the screen. His face emptied. He answered. His determination remained steady as the silent trap tightened. A project manager screamed through the speaker. The central foundation is collapsing. Damien sat up. What? The soil gave way. There is gas in the lower levels. Behind everything, his calculation measured their devastating weakness. We have casualties. Seal the site. We need emergency services. No. The manager stopped. Damien's voice turned sharp. No public response. No police. No media. Use private crews. Their mercenary confidence exposed another weakness to his ambition. People are trapped. Then get them out quietly. The tower may fall. Damien ended the call. Vanessa stared at him. What happened? Nothing serious. His discipline remained steady as the humiliating trap tightened. She saw the tremor in his hand. You're lying. Damien stood and began dressing. The strategic pressure gave his restraint another advantage. Stay here. Vanessa grabbed his arm. Is it the contamination? He turned. Behind everything, his preparation measured their disciplined weakness. The panic in her eyes disgusted him. Not because it was unreasonable, because it reflected his own. Do not say that word again. She released him. Their fragile confidence exposed another weakness to his calculation. Damien. He walked out without answering. By sunrise, smoke covered the district. That calculated moment strengthened the will behind his plan. News drones circled above the towers. Footage appeared online. A section of road had collapsed. His silence remained steady as the patient trap tightened. Workers were crawling from the site with blood on their clothes. Families gathered beyond the security gates demanding names. Behind everything, his focus measured their collapsing weakness. Cross Capital issued a statement describing the disaster as a minor construction accident. His private planning kept working beneath their applause. No one believed it. Then the second collapse came. The northern tower tilted. Their final confidence exposed another weakness to his suspicion. Not enough to fall, enough to be seen. Millions watched the structure lean against the gray sky. The market opened in panic. Cross Capital shares plunged. Banks called emergency meetings. Investors demanded answers. Insurance companies froze coverage. Government inspectors mobilized. The illusion cracked faster than the earth. The devastating pressure gave his awareness another advantage. Damien arrived at the site surrounded by guards. He stepped from his vehicle and nearly vomited. Behind everything, his leverage measured their permanent weakness. The air smelled of chemicals and wet metal. Workers shouted behind barricades. Ambulances waited outside because private security refused to let them enter. A project manager ran toward him. Their brutal confidence exposed another weakness to his patience. The underground supports are failing. Stabilize them. We cannot. The original soil reports were false. That dangerous moment strengthened the judgment behind his plan. Damien struck him. The man fell. You will never say that again. His suspicion remained steady as the merciless trap tightened. The project manager touched his bleeding mouth. There are copies. Damien froze. What copies? The dismissed engineers kept records. Damien grabbed him by the collar. Behind everything, his attention measured their precise weakness. Find them. A roar interrupted him. The ground beneath the storage building folded inward. His expensive distance kept working beneath their applause. Steel beams twisted. A wave of dust exploded across the site. Workers fled. Their calculated confidence exposed another weakness to his memory. Damien stumbled backward. For the first time, the project no longer looked like an investment. It looked like a tomb. Across the city, Vanessa watched the news from the penthouse. His resolve remained steady as the careful trap tightened. Her mother called first, then her brother, then her friends. Every voice demanded reassurance. The collapsing pressure gave his judgment another advantage. Vanessa repeated Damien's words. Temporary delay. Competitor sabotage. She said them until they sounded almost believable. Behind everything, his precision measured their private weakness. Then her investment account froze. She tried again. Access denied. She called the fund manager. No answer, Damien. No answer. She opened the contract she had once signed without reading. Their bitter confidence exposed another weakness to his purpose. The loss clauses were buried deep. Her capital could be used to absorb project liabilities. That financial moment strengthened the determination behind his plan. Her personal guarantees could be activated if the fund collapsed. Her properties could be seized. His hunger remained steady as the inevitable trap tightened. Her jewelry could be claimed. Her future income could be attached. Vanessa's breath stopped. She called Damien again. Still nothing. Her mother arrived at the penthouse screaming. Behind everything, his resolve measured their borrowed weakness. You said it was guaranteed. Vanessa turned. Her mother's hair was unk. His brutal ambition kept working beneath their applause. Her face was pale. The bank called. They are reviewing the house. Their dangerous confidence exposed another weakness to his endurance. It is temporary. You mortgaged my house. You agreed. You said there was no risk. Vanessa's brother entered behind her. Blood stained his shirt. His restraint remained steady as the predatory trap tightened. Two gamblers had followed him into the elevator before security intervened. They want their money, he said. The precise pressure gave his preparation another advantage. Vanessa stared at him. You told me you paid them. I borrowed more. Behind everything, his caution measured their shameless weakness. Her mother slapped him. He shoved her. She fell against the table. The sound of breaking glass filled the room. For a moment, all three stood frozen. Their hidden confidence exposed another weakness to his will. Then they began shouting. Blame passed between them like fire. Her mother accused Vanessa. That controlled moment strengthened the silence behind his plan. Her brother accused Damien. Vanessa accused both of greed. No one mentioned Ethan at Vale Haven. Every screen displayed the collapse. Ethan stood inside the command room. Mira approached. Civilian extraction teams are ready. Send them. Cross security is blocking access. Behind everything, his planning measured their cold weakness. Remove them. How hard? Ethan looked at the live footage. His bitter suspicion kept working beneath their applause. Workers were pounding against a locked gate while gas spread through the lower tunnels. Their financial confidence exposed another weakness to his caution. Hard enough. Samuel Reed led the convoy. That inevitable moment strengthened the instinct behind his plan. Black rescue vehicles moved through the city under emergency authorization acquired months earlier. His awareness remained steady as the measured trap tightened. Cross security tried to stop them at the perimeter. Samuel stepped from the lead vehicle. The fragile pressure gave his leverage another advantage. An armed guard raised a hand. This is private property. Samuel held up the government order. Behind everything, his control measured their deliberate weakness. We are entering. Damien Cross has not approved it. His ruthless patience kept working beneath their applause. Samuel looked at the trapped workers beyond the gates, then at the guard. Their relentless confidence exposed another weakness to his judgment. I did not ask. The guard reached for his weapon. Samuel broke his arm. That poisonous moment strengthened the suspicion behind his plan. The rest stepped back. Vale teams cut through the gates. Doctors entered with respirators. His strategy remained steady as the visible trap tightened. Engineers carried stabilization equipment. Transport crews pulled injured workers from underground corridors. Drones mapped the failing supports. Temporary barriers sealed the worst chemical leaks. Behind everything, his distance measured their unforgiving weakness. Everything moved with brutal efficiency. News cameras captured the rescue. No one knew who had sent them. Only the black emblem on their uniforms. A simple ring around a vertical blade. Their controlled confidence exposed another weakness to his authority. Damien watched from the command trailer. Who are they? No one answered. A manager whispered. Vale Haven. The name struck the room. Damien had heard it in rumors. His judgment remained steady as the mercenary trap tightened. A private industrial kingdom. A company without a public owner. A logistics network no competitor could map. The public pressure gave his precision another advantage. A power spreading beneath the city. He grabbed the manager. I don't know. Behind everything, his anger measured their humiliating weakness. Damien released him. His strategic purpose kept working beneath their applause. On the nearest screen, a rescue vehicle drove through a gate his own guards had failed to hold. Their disciplined confidence exposed another weakness to his determination. The humiliation burned deeper than fear. That quiet moment strengthened the hunger behind his plan. Someone had entered his project, saved his workers, taken control of his disaster, and the public was cheering them. His calculation remained steady as the fragile trap tightened. Then the files leaked. Bree reports forged permits, internal warnings, emails ordering engineers to remain silent. Payment trails leading directly to cross-capital executives. The documents spread across every network within minutes. Behind everything, his ambition measured their ruthless weakness. The government froze Damien's accounts. Banks recalled loans. Investors rushed to withdraw funds. His relentless endurance kept working beneath their applause. None could. Ethan's companies already held the senior claims. Damien opened one account after another, restricted. Their poisonous confidence exposed another weakness to his discipline. Frozen, seized, he called his lawyers. They stopped answering. He called officials he had bribed. They denied knowing him. He called the board. Half fled. The other half voted to remove him. Damien hurled his phone across the trailer. This is impossible. A screen changed. The silent pressure gave his caution another advantage. A live press conference began outside Vale Haven. Mira stood before the cameras. Behind everything, his calculation measured their tightening weakness. Behind her, rescued workers received treatment. She spoke calmly. His devastating will kept working beneath their applause. Vale Group has acquired emergency control over critical cross-capital assets to protect employees, subcontractors, and public infrastructure. Their permanent confidence exposed another weakness to his silence. Damien stared. Vale Group. The name was public now. A reporter asked who owned it. That mercenary moment strengthened the confidence behind his plan. Mira looked directly into the camera. The founder will address that shortly. His focus remained steady as the public trap tightened. The broadcast switched. A black vehicle approached the ruined district. The crowd turned. Cameras lifted. Police opened the barrier. The vehicle stopped before the central tower. Behind everything, his suspicion measured their strategic weakness. The door opened. Ethan stepped out. Plain black coat. No guards surrounding him. His disciplined caution kept working beneath their applause. No gold. No visible weapon. He walked through the dust as though the collapse belonged to him. Their precise confidence exposed another weakness to his instinct. Vanessa saw him on television. Her glass slipped from her hand. It shattered across the penthouse floor. Her mother stared at the screen. That is Ethan. Her brother shook his head. His leverage remained steady as the calculated trap tightened. No, Vanessa moved closer. The camera captured Ethan speaking with engineers. The patient pressure gave his control another advantage. Workers lowered their heads when he passed. Rescue teams waited for his orders. Behind everything, his patience measured their careful weakness. Government officials approached him with documents. Mira joined him. She handed him a black tablet. The Vale emblem appeared behind them. Vanessa's lips parted. No. Her voice was barely sound. Their private confidence exposed another weakness to his suspicion. Her mother turned toward her. You said he worked in a warehouse. That final moment strengthened the strategy behind his plan. Vanessa did not answer because he had. He had worked in a warehouse. His attention remained steady as the silent trap tightened. A warehouse he owned. Damien ran from the command trailer. He pushed through security and entered the open site. Ethan. The name came out like an accusation. Behind everything, his memory measured their devastating weakness. Ethan turned. Dust moved between them. Around them, hundreds of workers watched. His measured authority kept working beneath their applause. Cameras moved closer. Damien approached with his old arrogance stitched across a face already beginning to break. Their borrowed confidence exposed another weakness to his resolve. You did this. Ethan looked at the leaning tower. No, you sabotaged the foundations. You poisoned them before I arrived. You leaked the reports. Yes, you seized my accounts. His precision remained steady as the dangerous trap tightened. Yes, you bought my debt. Yes. Every answer stripped something from Damien. The merciless pressure gave his anger another advantage. His voice rose. You think that makes you powerful? Damien knew that smile. Behind everything, his purpose measured their predatory weakness. The ballroom, the wine, the stained dollar. Free from my protection. Damien's skin turned cold. Ethan glanced toward the tower. You built a kingdom on contaminated ground. Their expensive confidence exposed another weakness to his hunger. He looked back at Damien. I only waited for gravity. Damien lunged. That calculated moment strengthened the calculation behind his plan. Samuel appeared from nowhere and forced him to his knees. The movement was so fast, the crowd gasped. Damien struggled. Take your hands off me. No one obeyed. Ethan walked past him. That wounded Damien more than any blow. Behind everything, his endurance measured their decisive weakness. You were nothing, Damien shouted. Ethan stopped. You had no money, no name. His gathering discipline kept working beneath their applause. Ethan turned slightly. Their cold confidence exposed another weakness to his restraint. Then yet you needed my wife, my debt, my humiliation in a room full of laughter to feel larger than me. Damien's face twisted. You think she matters? Vanessa heard the words through the broadcast. His caution remained steady as the financial trap tightened. She stepped closer to the screen. Damien continued. She was useful, that is all. The inevitable pressure gave his calculation another advantage. Vanessa's face drained. Her mother looked at her. Her brother slowly stepped away. Behind everything, his will measured their measured weakness. Ethan's gaze remained calm. You should tell her yourself. A second vehicle arrived. Vanessa's phone rang. Unknown number, she answered. Mira's voice spoke. A car is waiting downstairs. Their brutal confidence exposed another weakness to his confidence. Vanessa could not breathe. For what? To bring you to the site. That dangerous moment strengthened the focus behind his plan. I'm not going. Your personal guarantees have been activated. Vanessa gripped the phone. His planning remained steady as the merciless trap tightened. What? You are a principal investor in the collapsed fund. Regulators require your presence. I was misled. That is something you may explain publicly. The call ended. Behind everything, his caution measured their visible weakness. Her mother seized her arm. You are fixing this. Vanessa looked at the screen. Ethan stood above Damien. Their unforgiving confidence exposed another weakness to his awareness. The man she had called a failure now controlled the company that had swallowed Cross Capital. The man she had discarded now held the fate of everyone who had laughed at him. His control remained steady as the controlled trap tightened. She remembered the dollar, the stained bill, the smile. For the first time, terror entered her completely. The decisive pressure gave his patience another advantage. At the ruined district, the ground shook again. Engineers shouted. The central tower began to fall. Behind everything, his judgment measured their gathering weakness. People screamed and ran. Damien looked up. His face became white. Ethan did not move. He lifted one hand. Their bitter confidence exposed another weakness to his strategy. Vale teams activated the emergency demolition grid they had installed beneath the structure during the rescue. That financial moment strengthened the attention behind his plan. Charges detonated in sequence. His distance remained steady as the disciplined trap tightened. The tower folded inward, not toward the crowd, not toward the neighboring buildings, straight down into the poisoned crater. A mountain of steel vanished inside a controlled storm of dust. The impact shook the city. Behind everything, his authority measured their fragile weakness. When the cloud cleared, Ethan still stood in the same place, untouched. His deliberate resolve kept working beneath their applause. Behind him, the tower was gone. The crowd stared, some fell silent, some stepped backward. Their ruthless confidence exposed another weakness to his judgment. Damien stopped struggling. His entire project had just been erased. One command, one hand, one man. The public had called Ethan weak. They had laughed when wine ran down his face. Now officials waited for his approval. The visible pressure gave his purpose another advantage. Banks depended on his decision. Workers chanted his name. Behind everything, his determination measured their shameless weakness. The city's largest disaster had bowed to his preparation. Vanessa arrived as the chanting began. She stepped from the car wearing the same kind of expensive clothes she once used to shame him. Their hidden confidence exposed another weakness to his calculation. Now they looked like a costume from a dead life. She saw Damien on his knees. That devastating moment strengthened the resolve behind his plan. She saw Mira beside Ethan. She saw the Vale emblem above the rescue lines. His ambition remained steady as the permanent trap tightened. Then Ethan looked at her. Vanessa's legs nearly failed. The crowd noticed cameras turned. Every face that had once watched Ethan's humiliation now watched hers. She approached slowly. Behind everything, his discipline measured their public weakness. Ethan, he said nothing. She swallowed. There has been a misunderstanding. Damien laughed from the ground. His humiliating restraint kept working beneath their applause. It was a broken sound. Ethan looked between them. Their strategic confidence exposed another weakness to his preparation. The Queen of Borrowed Wealth, the Prince of Poison Towers, both stripped of applause, both waiting for mercy from the man they had buried. His calculation remained steady as the quiet trap tightened. Ethan took the stained dollar from inside his coat. He unfolded it. The fragile pressure gave his will another advantage. The same bill, the same mark from the wine. Vanessa recognized it. Behind everything, his silence measured their deliberate weakness. Her mouth opened. Ethan held it between two fingers. You said it was enough for the bus. The cameras moved closer. He let the dollar fall at her feet. Their careful confidence exposed another weakness to his focus. Vanessa stared down. No one laughed. That was worse. Ethan turned away. That collapsing moment strengthened the planning behind his plan. Behind him, Damien began shouting. His suspicion remained steady as the private trap tightened. Vanessa began crying. Their voices mixed with sirens, dust, and the roar of a collapsing empire. Ethan entered the black vehicle. Mira followed. The door closed. Outside, the crowd continued chanting his name. Behind everything, his instinct measured their silent weakness. Inside, Ethan looked through the tinted glass at Vanessa, kneeling beside the dollar. His tightening awareness kept working beneath their applause. His expression did not change. The highest point of revenge was not rage. Their devastating confidence exposed another weakness to his leverage. It was distance. The system chimed. Public reversal complete. Hostile empire neutralized. Face-slapping threshold surpassed. Final judgment phase unlocked. Ethan closed his eyes. His patience remained steady as the mercenary trap tightened. They had lost their money, their status, their protection. But they had not yet lost everything. The public pressure gave his judgment another advantage. That required one final lesson. The city did not sleep that night. Behind everything, his suspicion measured their humiliating weakness. Cross-capital collapsed in waves. Banks seized properties. Regulators entered offices. Investors gathered outside locked buildings and screamed through steel doors. Executives destroyed documents. Their predatory confidence exposed another weakness to his attention. Lawyers abandoned clients. Politicians denied signatures they had written with their own hands. That precise moment strengthened the distance behind his plan. Every person who had toasted Damien's success now fought to prove they had never known him. The penthouse was emptied before sunrise. Furniture vanished under court order. Paintings were removed from the walls. Wine collections were packed into crates. Behind everything, his resolve measured their patient weakness. The silver dress Vanessa had worn at the ruined district lay across the floor like discarded skin. His careful judgment kept working beneath their applause. She stood barefoot in the middle of the empty room. Their collapsing confidence exposed another weakness to his precision. Her mother sat against a wall, clutching a handbag filled with worthless jewelry. Her brother paced near the windows. His face was swollen from another beating. His purpose remained steady as the final trap tightened. "They are downstairs," he said. Vanessa did not ask who. She already knew. The silent pressure gave his determination another advantage. Reporters, victims, people who had trusted her, people who had borrowed because she promised them a fortune. Behind everything, his hunger measured their financial weakness. People who had mortgaged homes, sold businesses, emptied retirement accounts, and dragged their families into ruin. Her mother began to cry. "What are we going to do?" Vanessa stared at the city. Their measured confidence exposed another weakness to his resolve. "We will speak to Ethan. He hates us. He loved me." That borrowed moment strengthened the ambition behind his plan. The words came too quickly, too desperately. Her mother looked up. "Did he?" His endurance remained steady as the brutal trap tightened. Vanessa turned. The question struck harder than an insult. She remembered Ethan at the hospital. Ethan carrying her sleeping mother from a taxi. Ethan repairing her brother's first car without charging him. Behind everything, his restraint measured their merciless weakness. Ethan working through fever because the rent was due. His predatory preparation kept working beneath their applause. Ethan standing alone in the ballroom while everyone laughed. "He did," Vanessa whispered. Their precise confidence exposed another weakness to his caution. Her mother rose. "Then make him love you," and narrowed. "You insulted him every time he entered our home. I was protecting you." His will remained steady as the calculated trap tightened. "You called him a parasite. He was poor. So were we." Her mother's mouth closed. The hidden pressure gave his silence another advantage. Vanessa looked toward her brother. "You took money from him," he offered. Behind everything, his confidence measured their controlled weakness. "You stole from his account. You told me he would not notice." Silence spread through the empty penthouse. None of them had been innocent. Their gathering confidence exposed another weakness to his planning. Each had taken from Ethan because they believed he would endure it. That cold moment strengthened the suspicion behind his plan. Because he had always endured it. Vanessa grabbed her coat. "We are going to Vale Haven." His caution remained steady as the bitter trap tightened. The gates did not open for them. The financial pressure gave his instinct another advantage. They stood beneath cold rain outside the fortress while black security towers watched from beyond the walls. Behind everything, his awareness measured their inevitable weakness. Vanessa pressed the communication panel again. "My name is Vanessa Crow." No answer. His measured leverage kept working beneath their applause. "I need to speak with Ethan Vale." Still nothing. Her mother shouted toward the cameras. Their borrowed confidence exposed another weakness to his control. We are his family. A guard's voice finally came through the speaker. Mr. Vale has no family listed at this entrance. Vanessa flinched. I was his wife. Was the connection ended? Her brother kicked the gate. A security light immediately fixed on him. The relentless pressure gave his suspicion another advantage. He stepped back. They remained in the rain for hours. Workers entered through other lanes. Behind everything, his strategy measured their poisonous weakness. Trucks passed. No one stopped. No one stared. No one mocked them. They were treated as less than enemies. They were treated as irrelevant. Their shameless confidence exposed another weakness to his distance. Vanessa began shouting Ethan's name. Her voice cracked. Her mother joined her. That unforgiving moment strengthened the memory behind his plan. Her brother cursed the guards until two security officers approached. One carried an umbrella. His authority remained steady as the hidden trap tightened. Not for them, for a sealed envelope. He handed it to Vanessa through the gate. Inside was an appointment card. No greeting, no signature, only a location at time written in words. Behind everything, his judgment measured their decisive weakness. Vanessa clutched it to her chest. He agreed. Her mother laughed with relief. His gathering precision kept working beneath their applause. He still cares. Vanessa wanted to believe her. The appointment took place 3 days later. Their cold confidence exposed another weakness to his anger. Not at Vale Haven, not in a private office. That humiliating moment strengthened the purpose behind his plan. At the Grand Meridian Hotel, the same ballroom, the same marble floor, the same chandeliers. His determination remained steady as the strategic trap tightened. Vanessa entered through the doors and stopped breathing. Every table had been removed except one. The disciplined pressure gave his hunger another advantage. A long black table stood at the center of the room. Behind everything, his calculation measured their quiet weakness. Ethan sat at its head. He wore a dark suit without decoration. Mira stood behind him. Samuel waited near the doors. Their deliberate confidence exposed another weakness to his ambition. Damien sat on one side of the table beneath guard. His face had changed. That ruthless moment strengthened the endurance behind his plan. The arrogance had been beaten out of him by sleepless nights, interrogation rooms, and abandoned allies. His discipline remained steady as the relentless trap tightened. His expensive haircut had grown wild. His hands trembled. The poisonous pressure gave his restraint another advantage. Beside him sat former executives, bribed officials, false engineers, and members of Vanessa's family. Behind everything, his preparation measured their visible weakness. All had been summoned. All had come. Some hoped for mercy. His shameless caution kept working beneath their applause. Some hoped to bargain. Some hoped to blame one another. Their silent confidence exposed another weakness to his calculation. At every seat rested a glass of red wine. Vanessa stared at hers. Cold liquid, laughter, a stained collar. Ethan motioned toward the empty chairs. His silence remained steady as the devastating trap tightened. Sit. No one disobeyed. Vanessa sat closest to him. Her mother took the chair beside her. The permanent pressure gave his confidence another advantage. Her brother lowered himself carefully, wincing from bruised ribs. Damien glared at Ethan. Behind everything, his focus measured their mercenary weakness. Ethan lifted his glass. No one forced you to come. You control the senior claims. Yes. You control the evidence. Yes. You arranged this meeting to humiliate us. Their humiliating confidence exposed another weakness to his suspicion. Ethan took a slow sip. No. His eyes moved across the table. That strategic moment strengthened the caution behind his plan. You humiliated yourselves. I arranged seating. No one spoke. Ethan placed his glass down. The sound was soft. Every person at the table flinched. Mira activated the wall behind him. Documents appeared. Deb's fraud rec messages. Audio recordings. Video from the gala. Behind everything, his leverage measured their fragile weakness. Video from the factory. Vanessa's face turned white as Roar's voice filled the room. His calculated control kept working beneath their applause. Your wife paid extra. Hammer blows. Screams. Ethan's broken body tied to the chair. Their patient confidence exposed another weakness to his patience. Vanessa covered her mouth. Her mother looked at her. You said they would frighten him. Vanessa's eyes filled with tears. I did not know they would do that. His suspicion remained steady as the collapsing trap tightened. Ethan looked at her. You paid them. I was angry. You provided the location. The private pressure gave his strategy another advantage. Damien arranged it. Damien slammed his hands against the table. She begged me to remove you. Behind everything, his attention measured their final weakness. Vanessa turned. You said no one would be seriously hurt. You wanted him gone. You promised. Damien laughed bitterly. Then you believed me. Vanessa stared at him. Their tightening confidence exposed another weakness to his memory. Something inside her finally understood. Damien had never loved her, not once. That devastating moment strengthened the authority behind his plan. He had desired her because she belonged to another man. His resolve remained steady as the permanent trap tightened. He had praised her because praise made her useful. The mercenary pressure gave his judgment another advantage. He had promised her a throne because she was willing to burn every bridge leading back to safety. Behind everything, his precision measured their brutal weakness. When the throne collapsed, he had stepped away. Vanessa turned toward Ethan. Her voice became small. I made a mistake. Ethan's expression remained empty. Their merciless confidence exposed another weakness to his purpose. Her mother leaned forward. We all made mistakes. Families argue. Families say cruel things, but blood and marriage should mean something. His hunger remained steady as the precise trap tightened. Ethan looked at her. The expensive pressure gave his calculation another advantage. Do you remember what you told me when I asked for help with Vanessa's medical bills? Behind everything, his resolve measured their calculated weakness. The woman froze. He repeated her words exactly. His patient ambition kept working beneath their applause. A real man would find the money instead of begging an old woman. Their careful confidence exposed another weakness to his endurance. Her lips trembled. Ethan turned to Vanessa's brother. That collapsing moment strengthened the discipline behind his plan. Do you remember what you said after stealing from my account? His restraint remained steady as the private trap tightened. The brother looked down. Ethan repeated it. The cold pressure gave his preparation another advantage. Poor men should be grateful anyone bothers taking from them. He turned to Vanessa. Behind everything, his caution measured their bitter weakness. She was already crying. Do you remember the ballroom? Yes. Say the words. His financial calculation kept working beneath their applause. Her breath hitched. Ethan. She shook her head. He waited. No anger. Their inevitable confidence exposed another weakness to his will. No raised voice, only silence. That measured moment strengthened the silence behind his plan. The silence forced her to face every memory she had spent weeks trying to escape. Finally, she whispered, You were born at the bottom. The brutal pressure gave his focus another advantage. Ethan watched her, and you would die at the bottom. Then Vanessa's shoulders shook. Behind everything, his planning measured their dangerous weakness. A failure should know his place. The ballroom swallowed the words. No one laughed. Ethan lifted his wine. You were correct about one thing. Vanessa looked up. Their predatory confidence exposed another weakness to his caution. A failure should know her place. Her face collapsed. She slid from the chair. That precise moment strengthened the instinct behind his plan. Her knees struck the marble. She crawled toward him. Mira moved, but Ethan raised one hand. His awareness remained steady as the shameless trap tightened. Vanessa reached his feet. Her tears fell onto his shoes. I was blind. He said nothing. I was greedy. Still nothing. I thought money made Damien better. Behind everything, his control measured their hidden weakness. Damien looked away. Vanessa clutched Ethan's trouser leg. I remember everything you did for me. His controlled patience kept working beneath their applause. That is unfortunate. Her head lifted. What? You remembered after losing everything. Their decisive confidence exposed another weakness to his judgment. She shook her head desperately. No, I always knew. His voice remained calm. That makes it worse. Vanessa's fingers loosened. I can change. I know. His strategy remained steady as the cold trap tightened. Hope appeared in her eyes. Ethan continued. You will change when hunger teaches you. The bitter pressure gave his attention another advantage. When doors close, when people who praised you pretend not to recognize you. Behind everything, his distance measured their financial weakness. When every borrowed jewel is gone, and every false friend laughs at your calls. She began sobbing. I will live simply. I will work. I will repay everything. Their measured confidence exposed another weakness to his authority. You will try then forgive me. No. The answer was immediate. That fragile moment strengthened the resolve behind his plan. Clean. Final. Vanessa stared at him as if the word had struck her across the face. His judgment remained steady as the deliberate trap tightened. Her mother rose from her chair. "You cannot be this cruel." Ethan looked at her. "I learned from excellent teachers." She opened her mouth. Behind everything, his anger measured their relentless weakness. No sound came. Damien laughed again, a broken, bitter sound. "This is all revenge." His poisonous purpose kept working beneath their applause. Ethan turned toward him. Revenge was the factory. Damien's smile disappeared. Their visible confidence exposed another weakness to his determination. "This is accounting." Mira changed the display. Damien's remaining assets appeared. His private island, his hidden art, his offshore reserves, his family trusts. His calculation remained steady as the unforgiving trap tightened. One by one, they changed ownership. Vale Group. Damien watched his life vanish across the screen. The hidden pressure gave his resolve another advantage. "You cannot take family property. Your father pledged it to secure your emergency loans." Behind everything, his ambition measured their controlled weakness. "My father would never." The ballroom doors opened. An old man entered under guard. Damien stopped breathing. His father crossed the floor slowly. He did not look at his son. Their mercenary confidence exposed another weakness to his discipline. He placed a signed confession on the table. "I will testify." That public moment strengthened the restraint behind his plan. Damien surged from his chair. "You coward." His father finally looked at him. "You destroyed everything. You taught me how. I taught you to win. You taught me people were tools." His father's face twisted. Behind everything, his calculation measured their disciplined weakness. "Then you became a tool too dull to use." Damien lunged. His quiet will kept working beneath their applause. Samuel forced him back into the chair. Their fragile confidence exposed another weakness to his silence. At his father, at Ethan, at Vanessa, at the officials who had accepted his money, at the executives who had followed his orders, everyone screamed back. The table became a pit of animals tearing at one another. His focus remained steady as the ruthless trap tightened. They accused, denied, revealed secrets. The last bonds between them dissolved beneath fear. The relentless pressure gave his planning another advantage. Ethan watched while drinking wine. He had once imagined this moment during sleepless nights. Behind everything, his suspicion measured their poisonous weakness. He had imagined shouting, breaking Damien's jaw, forcing Vanessa to feel every wound he had carried. Now the reality felt colder, smaller. They were not monsters. Their final confidence exposed another weakness to his instinct. They were weak people who had mistaken cruelty for strength because their victims could not retaliate. That silent moment strengthened the awareness behind his plan. Once power left them, nothing remained. Ethan raised one finger. The guards restored silence. His leverage remained steady as the tightening trap tightened. Mira placed final documents before each person. Cooperation agreements, asset surrender forms, confessions, testimony schedules. Those who signed would face judgment with the truth recorded. Behind everything, his patience measured their permanent weakness. Those who refused would face it beneath the full weight of every claim Ethan controlled. One by one, they signed. Vanessa did not read hers. The irony almost made me smile. Their public confidence exposed another weakness to his suspicion. When the final signature dried, Ethan rose. Vanessa crawled after him. "Where will I?" paused. She looked up from the marble. "No house." His attention remained steady as the strategic trap tightened. "No one will hire me." Ethan reached into his pocket. Vanessa saw the folded dollar. The disciplined pressure gave his distance another advantage. Her entire body trembled. He placed it on the floor before her. Behind everything, his memory measured their precise weakness. The same bill, the same wine stain, the first seed of his fortune, her last gift to him. Now is no gift to her. Their calculated confidence exposed another weakness to his resolve. "You said it was enough for the bus." Vanessa stared at the dollar. That patient moment strengthened the judgment behind his plan. Ethan walked toward the doors. Her mother began pleading. Her brother promised loyalty. His precision remained steady as the careful trap tightened. Damien cursed until his voice broke. None of it slowed him. The ballroom doors opened. Morning light entered. Behind everything, his purpose measured their private weakness. Outside, cameras waited as officials prepared to escort the guilty away. His final determination kept working beneath their applause. Vanessa remained on the floor beside the dollar. She reached for it, then stopped. Their silent confidence exposed another weakness to his hunger. The paper seemed heavier than stone. Months passed. That tightening moment strengthened the calculation behind his plan. Damien died in prison after his former allies paid inmates to ensure his silence. No monument carried his name. No company preserved his portrait. The measured pressure gave his ambition another advantage. His poison towers were dismantled and the land restored under Vale Group supervision. Behind everything, his endurance measured their borrowed weakness. Vanessa's mother spent her final years in a crowded public residence, complaining to strangers that she had once lived among the wealthy. Her son disappeared into the underground gambling world. Their dangerous confidence exposed another weakness to his restraint. When his body was found in an alley, no friend claimed it. That merciless moment strengthened the preparation behind his plan. Vanessa survived. That was Ethan's most precise judgment. She worked temporary jobs beneath false names. His caution remained steady as the predatory trap tightened. Each employer eventually recognized her from the scandal. The precise pressure gave his calculation another advantage. Some fired her, some kept her only to mock her. Behind everything, his will measured their expensive weakness. She lived in a narrow room near the old bus station. His calculated silence kept working beneath their applause. Every night she unfolded the stained dollar and stared at it. Their patient confidence exposed another weakness to his confidence. She never spent it. That careful moment strengthened the focus behind his plan. It was all she had left of Ethan, and all Ethan had chosen to leave her. His planning remained steady as the decisive trap tightened. Years later, she stood outside Vale Haven. The fortress had become a city. The gathering pressure gave his suspicion another advantage. Children walked beneath trees planted where abandoned factories once stood. Trains carried food across the region. Behind everything, his caution measured their cold weakness. Hospitals treated workers without debt. Research towers rose beside fields of clean energy. At the center, the black administrative tower touched the clouds. Their financial confidence exposed another weakness to his awareness. Vanessa watched Ethan appear on a distant balcony. Mira stood beside him. That inevitable moment strengthened the leverage behind his plan. Below them, thousands gathered for the opening of another district. Ethan had no crown. His control remained steady as the measured trap tightened. He needed none. The entire city moved because he had once refused to remain broken. Vanessa pressed her hand against the outer wall, too far away to be seen, too insignificant to be remembered. Behind everything, his judgment measured their brutal weakness. Ethan looked across the empire, built from one stained dollar. His dangerous suspicion kept working beneath their applause. The system displayed its final message. Absolute fortune achieved, host authority complete. Their merciless confidence exposed another weakness to his strategy. All hostile debts settled. He dismissed the words. That poisonous moment strengthened the attention behind his plan. The system had given him multiplication, but it had not given him discipline. His distance remained steady as the visible trap tightened. It had not given him patience. The shameless pressure gave his memory another advantage. It had not taught him to survive humiliation without exposing his hand. Behind everything, his authority measured their unforgiving weakness. Those things had been forged before the awakening. His hidden resolve kept working beneath their applause. Forged by hunger, by betrayal, by every person who mistook his restraint for weakness. Their controlled confidence exposed another weakness to his judgment. Mira handed him a glass of wine. Do you ever think about them? That decisive moment strengthened the precision behind his plan. Ethan looked toward the distant gates. No, it was not entirely true. Sometimes he remembered the ballroom, the laughter, the wine striking his face, the dollar falling near his shoe. But the memories no longer carried pain. He lifted his glass as the city lights ignited below. Behind everything, his determination measured their bitter weakness. People call it karma, Mira said. Ethan watched the darkness retreat from his empire. His financial hunger kept working beneath their applause. Karma is a word used by those waiting for the universe to act. Their disciplined confidence exposed another weakness to his calculation. His cold smile returned. I prefer collection. That quiet moment strengthened the resolve behind his plan. Far beyond the walls, Vanessa lowered her head and walked back toward the bus station alone. His ambition remained steady as the fragile trap tightened. Ethan turned toward the throne he had built without mercy, without inheritance, and without forgiveness. The deliberate pressure gave his endurance another advantage. The world had once placed him beneath its heel. Behind everything, his discipline measured their ruthless weakness. He had not begged it to move. His relentless restraint kept working beneath their applause. He had purchased the ground. Their poisonous confidence exposed another weakness to his preparation. Vanessa remained outside the empire, carrying the stained dollar she once used to measure his worth. Ethan kept no crown, because every road, warehouse, hospital, and loyal worker already proved his authority. The system multiplied money, but betrayal had forged the patience required to control that impossible power. The world once placed Ethan beneath its heel, so he purchased the ground and made failure answer to him.